Hey everyone, if you're currently looking for a home in the Saucon Valley School District area, or if you're just considering moving to the area and want to know more about it, stick around and we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Saucon Valley. If you're new to my videos, my name is John Cummings. I'm with Better Homes and Gardens, Casadon Realty, and my hope for the channel is that I could provide you some information to help make your home purchase or your investment purchase or any other real estate need that you have a little easier, a little more informational, so you can make the best decision. Um, if you like the content, feel free to subscribe, and you'll get some more videos that I have. Today, I have my guest with me, Jess. This is my wife. We've been living in the area for a few years now, and I thought it would be a good idea to get two perspectives on this. My view as a realtor and husband, father, as well as my wife, mother. We started our family here in Saucon, and I thought it would be just a good viewpoint to get about the area, especially the school district, which is one of the main reasons that people move to the area is the school district. And just so you know, Jess is also a teacher at Saucon Valley. She was in the high school, and now she does some middle school. So just to start us off, Jess, you can introduce yourself and go through some of your pros.
So my name is Jess, as John had mentioned. I've been at Saucon for about 9 or so years. In 2018, we got married and moved from Whitehall to Saucon. We decided to come to Saucon for a couple of reasons before starting a family here. The school district was one of the big main factors we compared to other schools which are a little bigger, like Parkland or Emmaus. Saucon Valley is a smaller school district, but it's still one of the top in the Lehigh Valley and just in the area in general. There's a couple things about the school that I personally like for our kids to go to eventually. Because it's smaller, the teachers are a little bit tighter and you know each other from K to 12. So the building is all connected. So Parkland and Emmaus are all separate buildings, but Saucon Valley are connected K to 12. So when we have meetings, they're pretty streamlined as far as content goes because we can meet with the elementary, the middle, and the high school teachers to see, where their strengths and weaknesses are from one grade to the next, especially since COVID. There were a few gaps that we were trying to make sure we didn't miss. A couple other things that seem to be a bit more streamlined would be like safety aspects. We have meetings across the whole district to just see where things could be missing with safety. We just got a resource officer within the last couple of years that is armed in the district and watches the district cameras throughout the day. Another big aspect of living here is the community. There are a couple things that we've gone to with the kids so far, some that the school do and some that the firehouse do. With the school, we went to a trick or trunk. So instead of trick or treat with the little guys, we got to go to the school during daylight hours, and they were able to go to different like parked cars and get treats and candy and things like that. We went to the firehouse for a couple different events. They had one where the kids got to go in the fire trucks, meet the firefighters, and play with some of their things that they use. And then recently, this holiday season, we went to light up the night. That was also at the firehouse.
Yeah.
Yes. And they got to have like just a big area for them to run around. They had a lot of free stuff and crafts, and they got to ride horses and see reindeer. And it was just like a safe environment for little ones to be able to run around. The area in general is pretty quiet compared to where we used to live. And it's just like a nice scenic area with a lot of just nearby parks that are well taken care of, which makes a big difference because you don't want your kids like playing around on, rusty playgrounds or anything like that.
We just went to a park recently in Quakertown. They just upgraded their entire park, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was
in the summer.
only what, like 15 minutes from here, 10, 15 minutes, and
Yeah.
huge upgraded park. They tore down the old one, and it's they have a section for like really tiny kids and then a section for teenagers, basically. I mean, preteen and up, I would say it was pretty intense. Um, but those are some of the main reasons that I would suggest living in the area. The school district is number one. Your kids are going to be there a huge part of their day. Then their home environment is pretty quiet, and there's just things for them to do that are free that parents can take them to.
So I have a question about the school districts. I don't want to get my wife in trouble here, but how are the students at Saucon?
The students are good at Saucon, so I think that we have a lot of like expectations and rules in place that they generally follow, um, compared to maybe some of the other disciplinary things that you would see at other schools. It's definitely less of that, because we make sure that we target, if there are any issues, we kind of deal with it right away.
Do you think the students like it? Like Saucon?
I do. I mean, some of them transfer from other school districts, and for the most part, they're happy with it. We have a lot of technology that they get to use. So all the students have an iPad, that they get to take home, they take their notes on. And I just think that they like that it is up to speed. We have Apple classrooms. So we have Apple TVs in every classroom that, they can connect to and we can connect to. And it's just a lot of integration that's current.
Nice. I think that's pretty key. Talking about the school district, that's one of the main reasons that we decided to move to the area was the school district. And I think a lot of families, that come to this area talk about the school district. There's also a couple other school districts in the area that are really good. Southern Lehigh is another great one. But it's good to get some perspective from an inside source on the school district and just the area in general. So a couple of my pros list for the area is very similar to Jess's, but at the same time, school district for me, I don't get that inside view. But if you're big on rankings or statistics, the school district ranking is in the top 20% of Pennsylvania. It's overall good. It's a great school district. You heard from Jess herself. The students enjoy it. I can attest. I've been in the school. I've seen a lot of the students outside of school, and they have a lot of technology there. There's not a lot of schools that provide an iPad for every student, but yeah, they definitely get a lot of stuff. It's a low crime area, and it's ranked 29th safest in Pennsylvania, and it's also surrounded by a lot of safe areas. Southern Lehigh School District area is also, I believe, they're 25th safest in Pennsylvania, so that's right on the border of the Saucon Valley School District. And then, Saucon Valley itself consists of Hellertown and Lower Saucon. And then you kind of have the outskirts, and you have Bethlehem right after the fact. And then you get into Wilson and Easton, but there's buffer space between all that as well with forestry and just open farmland as well. The other thing I like about Saucon is it's just a great community. We did, when we first moved here, we spoke to a few of the neighbors, and a lot of them have been here for quite a while. Just across the street from us, we have a couple that's been here, I think, like 30 or 40 years, and they have their grandkids come, and our other neighbors have been here for a while, and it seems to be similar throughout Saucon as well. All the other areas that we've looked for houses in the past, or even if we look now, we generally talk to the neighbors, and they say a lot of the same things. Good community. They hold little community events that aren't part of Saucon. It's just kind of a neighborhood type of thing, which I think is really cool, for the neighborhood to get together, and no one even really knows about it. It's not part of the township. It's no one's funding it. They just do it. It's just very family oriented, and there's a lot of activities for family. There's a lot of parks in the area. Not even just in Saucon Valley. Like we said, you drive 10-15 minutes and you get to a number of different parks for your kids. Another thing is it's pretty centrally located in Lehigh Valley. I mean, it's a little far if you wanted to go to like the Whitehall Mall. That's probably like the farthest you're going to drive, is if you want to go to the Whitehall Mall or Lehigh Valley Mall. We used to live in Whitehall area, and honestly, we didn't like it as much. It was just too crowded for us. So, if you need that type of environment, then Saucon's definitely much different than that. But overall, pretty centrally located. You get to 22 pretty easily. You get to 309 pretty easily. 78 is, there's an exit right on 78 here. So you could get in and out of the valley pretty easily. Um, Now, we talked about some of the pros. We're going to move on to a couple of the cons that we have about the area after living here. And the first thing is, again, I spoke about, we used to live in Whitehall, and it was you could get to Lowe's, Home Depot. You could get to the hospital pretty quickly. You're not very far, um, and you have the main roads to get there. It's pretty easy to get somewhere. Here, if you want to go to the hardware store, if you need to go to the hospital or something like that, it's going to take you probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get there. So it's kind of out of the way for certain things. Um, but it kind of just, it just depends on what you want. I mean, a lot of the stuff, you can't go to like a big box store easily, but you could go to the small department stores, you could go to the local stores, shop locally. And again, you kind of get that neighborhood feel when you go into these stores. You get to know these people, and it's just kind of nice. But if you need to be somewhere where you could get to a big box store within 5 minutes, this probably isn't the place for you. The second thing about Saucon in general is it's expensive. Real estate's expensive. The taxes are expensive. I mean, I've even seen gas. It's much more expensive here than if you are living in a different part of the valley. And that just comes with the territory. It's very expensive. The third thing, and this one I didn't really expect, is that traffic. Traffic could be bad here, depending on the day, obviously. But there's really only 2 or 3 main roads that come in and out of the area, and one is Main Street or 412, and that's connected right to 78. So you get a lot of truck traffic, and you get a lot of traffic just coming off of 78. If you're going somewhere on 78 and you need to get back to Hellertown, and there's an accident on 78, you're stuck. So that kind of gets a little cumbersome. Is the traffic. Also, the municipality is pretty strict about things that you can and can't do on your property. I mean, I say they're strict, but what I mean is you need to go to them, and they kind of make you jump through some hoops to get things done. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just it's different, and you kind of have to get used to it. I don't know about you, Jess. What cons do you have?
So a couple things that I've noticed from being here. One would be fireworks. So in the summertime, we would hear a lot of fireworks, which didn't really bother us until we had Jackson, our oldest, as a baby. That can be very frustrating when you're dealing with going to bed at night and fireworks are shooting off at all hours of the night. So that can be an issue with babies or pets if that's something that bothers you. Depending on where you live in Saucon, if you're close to like a gun club, you might hear gunshots too. We typically don't hear that where we live in Lower Saucon, but we have gone to other houses that we heard it while we were looking at the house, and that kind of deterred me from that location a little bit. I agree that the distance to things can be an issue. More so, I mean, just from like a safety standpoint, the hospital is a solid 20 minutes from us. If you had to get there in a hurry, you're not going to get there very quickly. And then Lowe's and Home Depot, we often go there. And that's a little bit further as well, but you have things like True Value for little things that you would need around the house. But for the most part, it is generally quiet, like I said, other than some fireworks in the summer. If that would bother you, or if you happen to live near somewhere where they're shooting off guns.
I think the other thing I'll add is it's really a pro is the police force around here they're really responsive. I think. I mean, we see them patrolling quite a bit, and it's not just in our area. I see them all over. I think they do a really good job. Even with complaints, they'll come out and like this past summer we had a complaint with. We personally didn't have a complaint, but we had a complaint on our street about some noise with some kids, and they came out and they just spoke with the kids. It wasn't anything like crazy, but I think they do a good job. I think they try to take care of the community, and they don't really try to, they're not trying to get anyone in trouble, but they try to educate and help kids. I really feel that they do that, and they do a really good job. Um, I don't know about you. Do you think what do you think about the police?
I think the police do a good job around here. One thing to note is depending on if you are in technically Hellertown or Lower Saucon will depend on who responds to you. So if you are in Lower Saucon, but you happen to be closer to the Hellertown police, the Lower Saucon police will still respond to you. So that was something that we actually talked about at the school because the Hellertown police are closer to us, but Lower Saucon will respond to us. So just to keep in mind when you're looking at like the fire company or the police, it's going to go based off of your township if you're in Hellertown or Lower Saucon, not necessarily who is closest to you in distance.
Yeah, but again, I think that overall they do a pretty good job. Um, so just a question for you guys: are you currently in Lower Saucon? If you're watching this video and you have different pros or different cons than what we have, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Or if you're moving to the area and you have other questions, feel free to ask them, and we'd love to talk to you about them. So just wanted to wrap up with some final takes on Saucon. I don't know, Jess, do you feel like it was worth? I mean, we took a lot of time before we moved, so was it worth all the time to get into the township?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. It was really a debate between here or Parkland or Southern Lehigh, and as of now, I don't think we would be leaving Lower Saucon anytime soon.
Yep, I agree. I like the area. I've liked it before we moved here. I thought it would be a great spot, and it's held true to what I did believe. I will say that it is difficult to find a house in Lower Saucon. So if you're looking, we took quite a while to find a house in Lower Saucon. Not a lot of people are leaving, and that's true based on the statistics that you see about listings in Pennsylvania in general. Lower Saucon's pretty low on the list of listings that come out, and there's a reason for that. It's a good place to live. I definitely recommend it as someone that lives here, especially if you have a family or you plan on having a family in the future. It's a great place to be. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining us. And if you like the video, feel free to subscribe, or if you have questions, leave comments below. Thanks.